I'm currently wearing one of the tops that we had. It's like a little black crop top with a bell sleeve. Very, I think it's very 70s.
Kalamuna Suma looks really cool.
And then I'm just wearing these cute little corduroys as well with a little rolled down top and these crazy rings that I absolutely love.
I'm interviewing her in the town she lives in, Burlington, Vermont, and we're sitting in my car because October is starting to October and it's dark and windy outside, just in time for spooky season. Besides what she describes here, Kalamuna also has incredibly short hair, which she has bleached a radical shade of white blonde. Her eyebrows match, and the contrast of this bleached hair against her smooth, dark skin, along with her multiple facial piercings and completely black fit, is stunning. I would look at her and categorize her style as goth. For any of my 90s babies out there, you know what this word brings up. Movies like The Craft, stores like Hot Topic, overall spooky, dark, styly vibes. But I learned pretty quickly from Kalamuna that the word goth has broadened and become more inclusive of varying identities.
I definitely exist in a lot of alt spaces just because I love alternative fashion in general. I have interesting clothes, but I also just choose to style them in funky ways. And I think that's the biggest thing that makes me alt more than anything else. I don't know. I think that's where the core of my altness comes from. I just love clothes, and that's
So just real quick. So you keep saying alt. What is alt?
Alt is just everything that's just not... this is in no way, shape, or form a diss, but just any clothing style that would not be on a mannequin at any store that you would walk into. It's just all of everything that I think is considered extra being a part of normal clothes.
I first met Kalamuna working at a pretty alt clothing store in Burlington. It's called Old Gold. She works on the floor there, helping others get their fashions together daily. And though I wasn't quite sure if she identified as goth then, her look was certainly memorable, especially in a state like Vermont, which doesn't have a lot of us black folks. And it's even harder to find black folks who dig into this alternative styling like she does. She seemed like she might have a thing or two to say about the first Homegoings Shorty question that came our way. This one's from DonnCherie McKenzie, who has previously appeared on an episode of Homegoings about art and authenticity. But this time, DonnCherie had a question for us about a very specific community she's been looking for in her home state. She asked us,
So where is the community of Black Goths here in Vermont?
This is Homegoings. I'm Myra Flynn, and welcome back. Sort of. Nope, Season 3 hasn't launched yet, but if you've been following our wind down of Season 2 of the show, you know that we put a call out to you, homies, to send us your advice-based curiosities that we'll do our best to answer while we're between seasons. Today's question is surprisingly timely. Just in time for Halloween.
Excellent.
So, let's do it. Let's go goth. This is a Homegoings Shorty. We're a proud member of the NPR network. Welcome home.
On To the Best of Our Knowledge, we're curious about everything.
I found a post from a gentleman named John who said, I just found out that my great-great-grandfather had a black son.
Did you know that the G's came from France?
Really? Wait a minute, this is my grandfather's grandfather. That's how the discussion began.
To the Best of Our Knowledge, the show that makes your world bigger. Join us. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's take it back for a second.
Yeah.
What is goth?
Most of the time, it's mostly the classic stuff of wearing a lot of black. Or honestly, the big eyeliner and also trad. The best way to identify a goth person genuinely is if they're wearing traditional gothic makeup, which is that full painted face, but specifically distinctly the eyeliner, the big eyeliner, just because the painted face isn't always I'm not sure about every other black person ever, but I don't really feel like doing a full white face of makeup, doing the ghost face as like somebody with darker skin kind of feels like I'm just like painting my face a lot, and that's, I don't like
That ain't the business.
It's not the business. The young ones are where you expect them to be at punk shows. That's where I've met the folks that I know that are black and goth and young that are my age at punk shows. That's usually where we get to interface and be like, hi.
So question, I think we talked about this earlier, but if goth is synonymous with punk, then punk is synonymous with skinheads. So how, as a black person, do you get past that?
So, okay. I don't think punk is synonymous with skinhead. I think that's, I try.
But like historically, it like is.
I think that a lot of people who may currently be really getting into, that are my age, I'm like 20, a lot of them, just because of the nature of the world, are probably not doing a lot of research into the history of what certain presentations within those spaces mean. I constantly see different ways that different ends of the punk community, whether skinhead or like leftist, whichever end that they may be leaning on, and try to gatekeep the term punk or gatekeep the term goth. I've also like talked to a lot of young people who are like, I'm afraid to shave my head because of that. And I think that there's this really like awkward line where we all have to just do our research at the end of the day, and it's really silly and I think annoying to hear that coming from somebody my age sometimes. But it's
I don't think it's annoying.
I think that it's funny. I think it is funny because I really just have a lot of time on the internet, and so I watch a lot of video essays, and history and culture is like my biggest like interest personally. And so I spend a lot of time learning on the internet, and so I've learned a lot about like the history of being punk and being goth. At the end of the day, I really think that people should be presenting in the way that they wish to, as long as they do the research and like make sure that like they're doing everything that they're intending to and presenting in the way that they want to intentionally. Because I know what a skinhead looks like, because I know what all the signals are to look for. But there's like this little secret code that there's certain ways to lace.
Secret code, not a secret code.
There's certain ways to lace your boots, and I'm pretty sure it's from like old army, like one of the armed forces had like a different way to communicate with their like threading their military boots a certain way. But since combat boots are so freaking popular within the punk spaces, they also started doing it there to communicate for like queer, like whether it be like, hey, I'm punk but also I'm gay, please, if anybody else is also gay, look at my laces, notice, we could totally kiss right now, and it's like the 50s and it'll be okay. Or whatever. Because like at the end of the day, alternative spaces have always existed. If you're looking for witchy community, look for the little things that like you also do. I swear to goodness, my witchy friends hide their stones, hide their crystals in their pockets and under their hats. Genuinely, I think that a lot of people, even though this is Burlington, Vermont, and there's a lot of safety here, there are only so many ways that I personally choose to present myself to the world, because I know that I'm still a black person moving through Burlington, Vermont. On the off chance that there are white people walking around with the belief that like, oh, that one black person is doing that crazy thing, all black people might be doing that crazy thing, I'm not going to be pulling out my full trad goth or my full alt fantasy, whatever that might look like that day, just because I don't want any like any little kid ever, whatever color they might be, who wants to present in the way that I do, to see that interaction happen.
What interaction?
The interaction, whatever that person might be, it is going to be a microaggression. It is definitely going to be a microaggression, whether it's like a little scoff or a little giggle or like a little, like that. At the end of the day is the most, I don't really care about it because I think that it's funny that like you're grown and seeing somebody dress in the way that they want to is making you roll your eyes. Are you being for real right now? Grow up. That's like how I feel about it. Growing up in Vermont is hard. Growing up in Vermont as like a marginalized youth, harder. Doing it like in an intersectional way, double sucks. And if there are any kids out there who want to do, or anybody out there at all, regardless of their age, who want to dress in the way that like I do, that's so awesome. And like, I think that's super cool.
Wait, what kind of fashion vibes am I giving right now? I feel like I'm giving tired mom
No,
vibes.
you very much are. This is to me very much standard. Like, this is hardcore standard Vermont mom. Like, you have been mom. Like, you just said that your child got you a little congested.
I'm so sick.
No. Yeah. So it's given cozy right now. Yeah. But at the same time, you put on a little denim shirt over it. So it's like still given you like
Canadian tuxedo going on.
A little, that's what's up.
Okay, but how would you goth me?
I would just dye the things that you're wearing black. Like, genuinely. We would switch out the gold to silver, and then I wouldn't do it because I'm bad at doing other people's eyeliner, but we could do a tutorial together.
Sold.
That's what's up.
You sold me. I think I'll just be giving like tired mom goth vibes.
That's honestly the biggest, if you want to look goth, genuinely, just start losing sleep. And then wear dark clothes. Those are the big two things, because oh my goodness, everybody that's goth is like, dang, I like the under eye bags. They're just like, they're just so classic.
That's
and
the look.
Like, you gotta get
classic.
Them. It's like, it's more like the shadows that having under eye bags makes. Yeah.
So I am goth. Fired.
Exactly. And then add a couple fishnets.
Fishnets? That's a lot. That's extra. I thought we were just rocking with the bags under my eyes.
Sorry, no. It's just like one fishnet and you're fit, black fishnets, black fit, and then you're good.
All right, so effort.
Yeah, just like a little, just a little bit, just a little teeny tiny.
Is there anything else you want to say to like just straight up answer that question? Where are all the goths in Vermont?
Working regular jobs around, really just around. Dig a little deeper, you'll find them. The answer is that they're in the small little communities that they probably built along the way of being here. But I have looked in like alternative space, like adjacent spaces, for example, or like queer spaces frequently have lots of goth folk. We exist very closely in an overlap many a time. That's a really good place to start looking for them. And also there are witchy spaces in like witchy affinity groups on, if you like start looking location tags and use the Burlington like location tag and then look for like gothy stuff, that is a good, or witchy things, that's another good way to find them. We're honestly all around, and I'm saying we only because I'm on the outskirts. You'll see me also.
You dabble.
You'll see me around also, exactly.
Kalamuna Suma, thank you for answering our first Homegoings Shorty and for helping us see your community. And I have to say, you make the tired mom look feel pretty cool. And thank you to DonnCherie as well for your question. Hopefully, we gave you some advice on how to find your community, and your community can just continue to grow around you. And of course, thank you so much for listening to this Homegoings Shorty. It's been a pleasure being here with you. This Shorty was reported and edited by me and mixed by our associate producer, James Stewart. I composed our theme music, and all other music is from Miles Hooper and Blue Dot Sessions. Elodie Reed is our graphic artist behind our Homegoings artist portraits. For this episode, Kelamuna is rocking her black fit and a serious alt attitude. Check it out at homegoings.co. We will have more shorties and conversations coming for you in the weeks ahead, so stay tuned to the feed and be sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss a thing. If you have thoughts, reflections, or asks of me as your host about who we should talk to, what we should explore next, or if you have a shorty, write to me at hey@homegoings.co. As always, you are welcome here. And happy Halloween.
Every episode of Brave Little State begins with a question about Vermont that's been submitted and voted on by listeners like you. What happened to all the restaurant workers? What's the deal with Vermont's fire towers? Why do people like the band Fish? Follow Brave Little State wherever you get podcasts. From Vermont Public, part of the NPR network.